in the modern game would you say is most like you, like with similar attributes and that sort of thing? Like,
Oh God, modern game. Trying to think now. Most like me, I tell you, ones who I'm liking at the moment. I love Jack Grealish. I think Grealish is quality. Like Mason Mount.
yeah,
I think England have got a really, really good bunch of young kids at the moment. And I actually fancy us for the Euros. To be true, I'm trying to think of somebody who I like Declan Rice. Declan
yeah,
Rice is a good player, very, very good player. Similar, bit more holding play really. But I think he'll be gone from West Ham this year. I think somebody big will come in for him, and then we'll see how good he is. Because he's doing really well. I mean, West Ham are flying. They could be in the Champions League, so they might want to stay there. But Declan Rice, I like a lot. As I said, we've got a great bunch of youngsters at the moment.
yeah,
And I do
definitely.
fancy us for the Euros, in truthful.
Yeah, we've got some really good players, haven't we? Like a spread right
Yeah,
across
really
midfield
good.
and strikers and
You
that.
can just
So
keep him fit, keep Harry Kane fit. That's a big one. Keep Harry Kane fit, and then Ewan's behind. Grealish has to play. I think Mason Mount has to play. Declan
yeah,
Rice has to play. I mean, we've got some really, really good players.
yeah. Sort of like back in the day, it was like the Gerrards, Lampards, that sort of
Yeah,
player,
yeah. I
wasn't it?
mean,
Yeah,
they probably should have done something to be truthful and brutally
yeah,
honest. But obviously played Scorsese in the wrong position.
yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah, so that just moves us on to the next one. So who would you like to have played alongside, either in this era or when you were playing? Is any sort of
Uh,
midfielder, anyone like that?
when I was well, to be fair, when I was playing, I was very very lucky. My main idols apart from Rushy were Brian Robson and Paul Gascoigne,
Yeah,
and I played with them. Lucky enough to kill Emerson, played with Raffaelli, Janino, Incy. Mason was a fantastic player. Really, really underrated player. He was one of the best players we've had by a long stretch. So in my era, I probably played with most of them. Who would I like to play with now? Well, definitely Ronaldo or Messi,
yeah,
without a shot. I'd like to play with Ibrahimovic as well because he's a bit of a character, great player,
yeah,
bit of
yeah,
a
definitely.
character as well. But obviously the normal ones, Messi, Ronaldo.
Yeah, obviously it was like Ibrahimovic. He's a class player, but he knows he's a class player, doesn't he? He's just the way he
Yeah,
walks
yeah. I
about with.
mean, he's got it. He's got it. I mean, there isn't very many now. People who've got that type of thing where they actually know how good he knows he's top draw. You know what I mean? And he actually is as well. So he's got a bit of character to him. Where you think of Messi and Ronaldo, that I know they're probably two of the best players, or they are the two best players in the world, and if not the best players of all time. It's all about their image. Where Ibrahimovic, he's got a bit of something about him.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so what would you say is the main differences from like today's game now as from when you were playing?
Oh, definitely, they're definitely more fair, without a shadow of a doubt. They're a lot more professional. They treat themselves as athletes now. I mean, yeah, as when we were playing, as I said, it was going a bit of a transition when I was coming through. The pub culture type thing was still there, but it was starting to go, and this type of stuff now was starting to come in. But they are proper athletes now. I mean, these lads are super, super, super fit. You go down the leagues, to be truthful. I mean,
Yeah,
the only thing what separates probably some of the Premiership to League Ones and League Two is ability-wise. It's never normally fitness now. I mean, they're all really, really fit boys. Uh, Spend a long time. I remember we used to be finished. Most of us used to be finished by half 12, 1. We got out of the building by 2. You go to the academies now; they're still there at 4, 5, 6 o'clock at night now. They're that much more professional now than they were maybe 15, 20 years ago.
yeah, they sort of do like double sessions and things. I mean, I think
Yeah, yeah. I
Arsene
mean,
Wenger
it's
was,
completely
yeah,
it's completely changed. I mean, you can have
yeah,
all the ability in the world if you're not dedicated, it makes no difference.
yeah, absolutely. I think like you say, Arsene Wenger we mentioned yesterday was
Yeah, Wenger. I mean, I
one of the
remember
first players, managers.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Wenger was brought in different types of training, coming in on an afternoon instead of a morning, more sleep. I mean, the vitamins and the diet all changed, and obviously it's progressed now. I mean, that you've got full-time doctors there, 2 or 3 doctors at each club, sports scientists. The equipment they have there now is absolutely second to none.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Yeah, so obviously me myself, I'm a personal trainer, so and I think like I say we touched on yesterday. Now more than ever, nutrition and fitness and looking after your
Yeah.
physical and mental well-being is sort of important, isn't
hmm
it? So what was it like when you were playing then? Did you have like a nutritionist like a
Yeah,
personal
but
planner thing, that sort of thing.
when Robo come in, we brought them in. One of the when it was, Chris Barnes was the head when he was the head of Middlesbrough University, Teesside University,
Yeah,
and we brought him as a sports science and fitness coach. We brought a few in. Chris Huddy, who has something to do with all the academy now with Craig Little. He was a trainee there, and a lad called Warren Gregson, who's done really really well for himself now. Now he's the head of all the sports science and the nutritional thing in Qatar now, where the World Cup's going to be. He sent me a picture of Janino actually about 2 or 3 weeks ago. He was doing Janino, and he was a trainee there when we started. But he's done really well for himself. But we had all them, so it's just progress now. I mean, probably not just in football, but in general, nutrition and fitness anyway. And you see a lot. I mean, there was hardly any fitness instructors about it when I was like 23, 24. Now they're all over it. So they're busy and they're really popular now. So, I mean, it's just like anything. It's progress. But the more knowledge people have had, I mean, probably my age when I was 23, 24, it's a bit naive. You know what I mean? You think you know more than what these people do. But the more it progresses like it does now, you can see why every single football club, they don't just have one. They have 6, 7, 8 of them. I mean, in different types of positions, so it's huge. It's absolutely massive now.
Yeah, definitely, because like it's totally different era in it, and there's more money in the game and everything like that.
Yeah,
So
yeah. As I said, there's a lot more money. There's a lot more at stake. And if you can have a 1% edge against somebody else, it's a massive, massive thing now, especially in football.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, so with the tough times over the last 12 months or so, there's a lot more people speaking about mental health and seeking help, that
Mm-hmm.
sort of thing. And obviously there seems to be more help out there. But what was the like level of support like back when you played?
Yeah, well, it wasn't. I mean, I can't. I was quite lucky. I've never suffered mental health in my life. I'm quite happy-go-lucky lad.
Yeah,
But I know it's come to fruition now. I mean, it probably was about them, but no, there was actually probably wasn't any alcohol to be truthful, and nobody would probably have came out then. I mean,
yeah,
it's probably had a bit of a stigma coming out. I mean, it probably still does now, and to some point because it is about a lot now. It is. I mean, everything seems to be anything what's wrong. It seems to be about mental health, whether it is or isn't. But I think there was a bit of a stigma 20 years ago. Right, there's a lot more help now. I mean, there's help all over the place now, and I don't think, especially men, you know what men are like.
yeah,
I mean, I often don't go to doctors or anything no more now. You know, it's like but they do come out now. I mean, they have started coming out, and it helps people like Tyson Fury, massive names coming out and stuff like that. And that's a
yeah,
huge help because it doesn't seem if people are coming out, it doesn't seem as bad if Joe Bloggs from Berry Hills is going to come out to well, Tyson Fury's come out. I mean and it's just as it has changed and there is a lot more help now to be truthful.
yeah. I mean, I know there was one or two football players a couple of years back. I think Aaron Lennon was one of them. He had a bit of an episode and things, but obviously that sort of brought him more into the limelight, hasn't it? Really?
Yeah, as I said, there's a lot of sports can come out, which is enabled a lot of just people, normal people, to come out because there's not such a stigma behind it now. And as I said, there's a lot more help.
Yeah. So obviously, like, it would have been a bit different in your time, and so
Yeah, yeah, completely different. I mean, you probably could. If you would want to go and see, you probably went to see your physio. Really, that would have
yeah,
been it. But they have people at the club now for it now. I mean, they have especially trained people at football clubs now for it.
yeah. I think if you'd have told Robbo back in the day, he probably would have stuck in the pub for a
If
few
they took us
pints,
to the
wouldn't
pub,
he?
we'd went to the pub, we'd been in Yarm.
Yeah, damn right. He'd have been tall trees or something like that back in the day.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So obviously, also back in the, I mean, there was physical and mental health side of things. It's important to give you your best and like, sort of be your best at all times to give you the best chance of success. What advice would you give to sort of youngsters coming up nowadays who want to be a professional footballer?
Yeah, I mean, number one, it's extremely difficult. I mean, the stats of what are about of how many people when they start up with grassroots football at the ages of 7 and 8 and look to the ones who actually make it are absolutely minute,
Yeah,
minute. So it's difficult anyway. You've got to be fit now. There's no way getting away from it now. It doesn't matter what standard you've been. I mean, I've got a couple of pals who play for Whitby, who play for Mask, and in the Northern League, and they're way behind, like from where the Premiership is. But these lads are super fit. It just costs to play in that type of league. they're fit, look after themselves, and I think that's the way things have gone now, and it hasn't, especially over the last 5 to 8 years, it's accelerated massively. I mean, as I said before, these lads now are athletes. They're not just footballers. These are athletes. I mean, some of these lads, when you look at Traore, he's running 10 seconds, 100 metres, and they've got lads who are running 13, 14, 15 kilometres in games now. I mean, and when they come off, they don't even look tired. I mean, where before, if you'd seen somebody do that, they would have been really shattered. As I said, that the proper athletes now look after themselves. Very, very rarely drink any of them. Even on the off season, you look at Ronaldo. It's no coincidence that Ronaldo and Messi, the best players in the world, Ibrahimovic, you look at him, they don't drink.
Yeah, I know, that's it.
They do not drink at all. I mean, and that's the drink. I mean, the drink culture in football now is long gone. That is, and anyone who thinks it's still involved is that there'll be. I mean, if you'd have probably said 20 years ago, you'd have probably said 75% of all teams members would have went out for a drink on a Tuesday or went out for a drink on a Saturday.
Yeah,
you'd be lucky if it's 5% now. It's just completely turned around, and not just football. I mean, when you see how busy gyms are now with young lads in general. I mean, when I was a young lad who was 15, 16, and some of my mates, they didn't go to the gym 5-6 times a week. They didn't do that, but just didn't do it. It's just things that your mentality's changed towards fitness and health in general now, as not just footballers, but as people in normal gyms around the young kids of 18 to 21s to 30-year-olds. I mean, it's just a complete change now.
yeah,
and that's why you're seeing that many of them, to be truthful.
Yeah. Like I say, I mean, it was the same sort of for me. Like when I was 16, 17 and all that coming up, I was just, as soon as I was thinking, all right, I'm 18, down the pub with the lads, and
Yeah,
thinking,
exactly.
oh, yeah, let's go to the gym.
And to be fair, a lot of them, I know a lot of them, obviously they're still going to go out and have a social life, but a lot of them do go to the gym now. They'll be in there 5 times a week. Do you know what I mean? And I wouldn't have done that personally as a young kid. I wouldn't have done that. We used to do. I was fortunate you have to do it at the club, but most of my mates wouldn't have done it. But just the mentality of fitness, that type of thing now in general has completely changed.
Yeah. Yeah, so coming to like when you finished your playing career, then how did you feel not having that routine, like set plans and?
Yeah, it was a bit strange. I mean, it wasn't a routine of playing games. To be fair, I still even don't miss it now, to be truthful. And you ask most players, did they miss games now? Because we've probably done it since you were 7-year-old anyway, from grassroots onwards. It's the dressing room thing. What the lads miss. They miss going in in the morning, having a crack with the lads, cracking training after it, and it's that type of thing you do miss. I'm quite fortunate, obviously, because we coach full time, and we're still involved with people like Neil Madison, Graham Kavanagh, Andy Collar, speak while I move all the time. So it's not too bad for us because we still got that laugh on a night and during the afternoon and stuff when we're coaching. But I can see why a lot of players get lost at that type of thing, because a lot of them don't want to go into coaching and into management. But most of them, all they will have known is going into training at 9 o'clock, coming home at maybe 2 or 3, and having games, meeting the lads all the time. And all of a sudden, once that's over, it's just a completely different world. And you can see why a lot of the players do get lost.
Yeah, totally. That was like I say. That was one of the things I was going to say next about obviously missing the training and the banter in the dressing room because you sort of don't get that day once you've.
No. I mean, as I said, I'm a little bit lucky because we still have a laugh with the lads at Premier Player where we all coach. And we also look after Middlesbrough College as well. So we have Matty Bates has just joined us as well. So we do have that little bit of banter and stuff on WhatsApp and that, and it is good. But if you didn't have that, it probably would be a little bit. It's a little bit strange of the rigmarole. We've done it for 20 years, and all of a sudden it just totally stops.
Yeah. So when you first initially retired, then did you sort of have any plans going into your?
No, I had no plans at all. As I said, I got married quite a lot. I'm in New York 2 or 3 times a year.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed it. And then I'd done a bike ride with Ali Brownlee, Mado, for charity. And Mado was head coach for Premier Player. He said, "Why don't you come down? Took a couple nights a week and have a bit of crack with us." I said, "All right, I'll come down." And that was it. And then it went from one night now to 6 days and full time. And I enjoy doing with the younger kids. I really enjoy it, especially the kids who are still in grassroots. It's never. I was asked several times to go, obviously, into academies at Middlesbrough and Bunker. It's never ever. I've never ever fancied that at all. But I really enjoy. I'm a massive fan, a massive supporter, a massive fan of grassroots football because it's a massive part of English football, to be true, of English or British football, really.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people who give their own time up and stuff for grassroots. So I'm a massive fan, and I enjoy the kids. And if we can get one or two into academies, we've had quite a lot in academies in Middlesbrough, into Leeds, into Sunderland. So it's quite beneficial for the kids to come to us as well.
Yeah, I think it's important as well that the sort of the kids leagues and things are coming back soon. Because like my youngest son plays for Sutton Town, and
It's a massive thing. I know the massive pandemic, and I understand the rules and why they're doing. But outdoor sports, I was very, very shocked that they actually stopped the outdoor sport. I understand the games and matches because a lot of parents rely on other parents to take the kids who wouldn't be able to do that. But as in outdoor social distance training, I think that could have still went ahead, to be truthful, because there's a lot of we found out when we went back, a lot of kids, they'd lost a lot of fitness. They hadn't been doing anything. Some kids were coming back overweight, and it was quite strange to see how 5 or 6 months of not being able to do anything. Because people have got to understand that they weren't only just coming to grassroots; they were still missing out on playing PE at school, playing games. Some of these kids play games 4 and 5, 2 or 3 times a week. They train 4 times a week. They were all stopped from playing out with their friends. And their mental health and the fitness and if they're just sitting on the Xbox and most of them being chocolate and crisps and stuff like that, we had quite a lot of kids who've come back overweight and really, really unfit. And that was one of the things. I've just wondered why I couldn't have done the socially distanced training as we did in the previous lockdown and keep that outdoors, not just football, but all outdoor sports to be truthful.
Yeah, absolutely. So just another question: if you could live 24 hours in someone else's shoes and take on their life and their lifestyle for 24 hours, who would it be and why?
24 hours of their lifestyle. Tyson Fury all day long.
Yeah.
Probably. Why? He's got such a. I think boxing's missed. I'm a big fan. I love boxing. Apart from football, boxing's my next thing.
Yeah.
I go to quite a lot of events. I went to see Tyson in Vegas just before lockdown, last February, when he beat Wilder. I went to see it. And I went to see when Joshua in Madison Square, when Joshua got beat by Ruiz. We were all there. So I'm a big fan of boxing. He is what boxing is needed for a fair bit. He's a great character. He's so down to earth. He's done a couple of shows up here with my pal Tony Lovelo's put on him. I've been to see him, met him, pictures, and I wouldn't mind having a 24 hours as him and his routine, because he's great fun. I mean, he is absolutely great fun, and he's a character what boxing's needed for a long, long time now.
Yeah, and he's one of them who's like straight down the line, isn't he? He's not like he's just he is who he is.
Yeah, he is. He actually was. As I said, when he beat Wilder in Vegas on the Sunday, he was on the strip with everyone, not just his entourage. He was just mingling with the fans, having a crack, having a beer, and it was just what it was. Just as I said, it's just what it reminds you of, like when Gazza was top. It was the same type of thing, but like in a boxing type thing. He's a character what boxing needs at the moment.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, so just as we're coming to the end now, I always like to finish on a bit of a lighter note with a few different questions.
Right.
So we'll start off with this one. So, pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
No.
I see, I'm a yes on that one. Me and my wife always disagree on that one.
No chance of lying.
Yeah. So, tea bag in the tea. So, do you put the tea bag in first, or is it the milk?
I put tea bag in first.
Yeah, that's the right answer.
Yeah, tea bag in first.
Yeah, definitely. Right, and this is another little pet peeve of mine. So, the toilet roll on the holder, do you have it over or under?
Under.
Under, oh, see,
under, definitely.
That does my thing when my wife does that. Yeah, so favourite meat with your meal, would it be chicken or turkey?
Or chicken.
Chicken, yeah.
Turkey's so overrated.
Yep. Right, the next one is like football theme. So Cristiano Ronaldo or Lionel Messi?
Ronaldo,
yeah. See, that's always divides opinion, that one, doesn't it?
Only because he's played in different leagues and Messi hasn't. That's the only reason why.
Yeah, totally. And obviously Ronaldo's went on to win trophies at international level, hasn't he? So
yeah.
One, yeah. Yep. So match of the day or I'm a Celebrity on a Saturday night. Which one?
Oh, match of the day all day long.
Damn right. You'll do for me. Yep. And also, I'll finish on the last one now. If you had the opportunity to go back in time to when you were playing, change one of the following things: either having a longer playing career and making a record number of appearances, or being more successful in terms of reaching more cup finals and obviously maybe winning a trophy than having a
Oh,
short career. Which one?
I definitely, if I was still, obviously with Middlesbrough, I definitely would want to win a trophy.
Yeah.
Definitely, 1,000,000%.
Yeah, I think most people have said that. I mean, like I've spoke to Robbie Mustone and a few guys like that.
Uh-huh.
Obviously, they got to all
Yeah,
the
it's
finals
just
and then yeah,
basically because obviously we got the cup finals. Basically for Robbo really, because if anyone deserved it, was him. We were extremely unlucky to go down. We shouldn't have went down. We only went down because the 3 points, to be truthful.
I
And the
know.
players we had, we should never have gone down anyway. But obviously for him for him to win it, it'd have been brilliant.
Yeah, and obviously with that Blackburn game, we sort of all look back now. If we'd have just
Yeah,
played
we
the
should
game
have
and
ended
lost
it. I
ten
mean,
nil, it wouldn't have mattered.
to be truthful, everyone didn't even have that. This is what they get a lot of things. Everyone didn't even have the flu. That was the thing. We could have put a team out. It was because our main players were ill. We need like when Janino was ill, Ravanelli was ill, and Emo, I can't remember the players who were injured. But we would have had to put a weakened side. But we've done that several times anyway.
I know. Yeah.
But for some reason, someone must have told them, "Oh no, you've got an really bad illness, and everyone's bad. You don't have to play." Because obviously we know now it was a bad decision.
Yeah, obviously they must have been badly advised because, like I said, even
No,
if we played the game, it
someone
was
was
just
terribly
wrong.
advised. Just turn
Yeah,
up and play it at the end of the day.
exactly. We could have played the Tea Lady and lost 10-0. It wouldn't have mattered.
Well,
We'd
we
still
had
been
fit
in the Premier
players.
League.
We had players to play. We had a squad to play. 1,000,000% we did. Well, I can max remember going when we were told we were not going, and we had enough players to play that game without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah, I mean, looking back for myself as well, I was devastated then. Like, but you never know. It's history
Because you
now,
never know
as
what
they
could have
say.
happened if we stayed in the Premier League at that. And then the following
Yeah,
season, the players who were linked with the players who could have come, and we could have pushed on from then as well. To be truthful, because Juninho might have stayed. If I'm brutally honest.
yeah. I mean, there was talk of Roberto Carlos, Pat Stewart, and
Yeah,
people
yeah.
like that. Who knows?
Obviously you've got Juninho there, so it'd have been a big help for them type of players. And the players who we were signing at the time, you wouldn't have thought that it wasn't possible either.
I know it was great times, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Great
class.
times. Yep, so I'd just like to say thank you for being on the show today. I really appreciate your time. It was great to hear about your career and have a
Mm-hmm.
bit of an insight what it was like being a professional footballer and obviously playing at the top level like yourself. So thanks very much,
Yeah, no
Phil.
bother.
And
No bother,
take
mate.
care, pal.
No bother, you, Tom. Right.
Thank you very much.
See you, mate. See you later, mate.
See you, pal.
Bye.